Hey everyone, welcome back to Unsealed and Revealed, the web series from Sideshow in which me and two of my besties do our best to showcase the latest and greatest things in the 6-scale universe. Galaxy, no matter what quadrant, whichever. I'm Terry Smith, the host du jour, and with me all the way out there in the Gamma Quadrant, just fresh from doing battle with the Borg, is my buddy Guy Klender. How's it going there, Guy?
It is going great. I am excited to show off the figure. I'm really excited to be back doing Star Trek figures, and you know, they're really going where no one has gone before with these figures.
Indeed, yeah, well put. Also out there, I think even further out than Guy, all the way out in the Delta Quadrant, lost in the middle of nowhere. He totally doesn't get that reference either. Is my other friend. Yeah, that's right. I only have two. Paul Hernandez. Hey, that's right. I think
I'm
so.
actually out in the Southern California quadrant of space. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. If you guys have any questions about this incredible figure, please let me know on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. That's where we're live. I'll be accepting all forms of questions, concerns, compliments about Guy's beard or Terry's beautiful hair. Let me know. I will get those questions to these wonderful gentlemen, and we'll hopefully answer all of your questions about this piece.
Really looking forward to a lot of awesome questions because I think this is going to be an awesome figure. Why don't we just go ahead and dive right into this?
Okay.
I'm just fresh off of watching the pilot episode for the first time since the 90s this morning, so I'm really stoked by the fact that the show genuinely holds up in my mind. So let's talk about this figure, dude.
Let's talk about it. Okay, well, first up, you are going to have a photo of the actual 6-scale figure right there on the front. What they have, and of course, Captain Kathryn Janeway down in the front. I love, and you're going to see this when we show off the portrait, that she does have that slight upturn at the corner of the mouth. She had a hint of a smirk. We've got the Star Trek logo up top. They are done in a, catch the light, a little bit of silver foil, and then wrapping around, you're going to get an entire cast painting there. Spin it around to the back, and you're going to have the contents of what's in the box, as well as kind of a fun pose with probably my favorite accessory she comes with, is the coffee cup. Now, if you have the Picard, one with coffee, one with tea, I like that you've got them both.
I feel it's important to bring up, Guy, that the heads of EXO-6, this head of EXO-6 has pointed out that he intends to do the entire main bridge crew of the Voyager in this run of Star Trek.
Yes, he plans on doing everybody. If you are not following EXO-6, you should be.
Dude, get on it.
Get on it. And EXO-6 is apparently going to be doing all Trek. So no matter what grouping you like the most, you can expect to see a lot of great stuff. And they are fantastic. Speaking of the creators, we do have the front window box there that's going to show you just about everything that comes in the package. There are some secret things. But on the back, you are going to have the credits. And this is the executive producer we were talking about. But we're going to pan down a little bit, and you're going to see that it has a QR code. Now, this is something that they've started with their entire line, starting with their very first figure that we're getting, that you would scan that, and that will actually take you to a video about the figure. Now I'm going to open the figure from the bottom here, and we're going to dive into discussing the figure. We have one top tray on here to remove and show the figure. However, there is something unique done in this, and this is, again, as I said, EXO-6 keeps pushing the envelope of design and everything else, and one of the things they wanted to make sure is that the things arrive to you nicely, that even though they're not using two trays, they have actually done an under tray to give it a little bit more durability. The reason that I bring that up is when I remove that, inside connected to it, on the inside here is going to be your data card for your figure. I'm going to pull that out later and we'll talk about it, but it's something, it's again, the extra mile that they've gone with it.
Can I just say that when you showed me that, before I realized that that was the data card, I legitimately thought to myself, oh my God, EXO-6 is giving the instruction to their own tray. And I was like, blasphemy.
I myself would be
world
very
is against
pleased
me
to
in
see
this.
tray instructions and proper removal from instructions. Do you start from the top and work down? Is it a clockwise? Is it a counterclockwise removal? I think that should be done. But inside the tray, what you're going to have, working our way from the top down, you're going to have the tricorder in the phaser, the Type 2 phaser. You're also going to have the holsters for the two, and these are magnetic. We'll go over that. We have a data pad. We do have what Terry is enjoying and what Janeway enjoyed, the black coffee cup. We're going to have the swap out hands. Up top here, you're going to have your large phaser rifle. Underneath the figure, you are going to have the display base, and we're going to talk about some of the things that are important about that. But as I start to do a little unpacking, I'm going to stand Janeway right up here for us. And I'm going to ask the computer, can we enhance the image? I just like to say that. It's just kind of fun to do it. What I mean by that, our computer is trying to figure that out. Can we get a close-up?
Now, that's interesting that they chose to go. I'm looking at her hairstyle right now, and it's interesting they chose to go with a post-season 4 haircut.
You know, I think that had to be...
I don't think I realized that until just this moment. I thought, for some reason in my head, I had her hair in an updo. And,
that had to be probably one of the most difficult things to decide on what to do with this particular character was, what hairstyle do we do? Do we do swap out hairstyles? Do people have a favorite? I think all of that probably came into play with this particular figure. I do like this one. I think it's a great sculpt. I think it's a great choice that they've done with this one here. Particularly, it's the facial expression that I like the most. As I said, that hint of a smirk that she has that really just kind of sets the tone for Janeway. Janeway was, an incredibly confident character. There was a lot about Janeway that was important. I mean, every Star Trek show, pushed the envelope in many, many ways, and this was one of the first times to see a woman in a command captain position in the Star Trek world. As far as I remember, we may have seen them in others, but this was, where we get a continuing storyline of somebody that high ranking. She was amazing to play.
There were a couple, one-off camping characters.
Correct, yeah, one-offs, but we never really got to dive too much deep into that.
in TNG. But,
yeah, we had a few, but this was where, we focused on a character. We had a lot of great characters, but again, a great sculpt on this, capturing that. We're going to stay on that close-up and kind of work our way down. Again, there's that hairstyle that he talked about, the behind the ear there. It did have a great swoop. Great sculpting and fantastic paint application on this. It's just not a single color on this. As you can see, there are plenty of variations in color to give that. You do see that there is the line there right around the chin. It's almost hidden there, but that is so when we do have the articulation, you have a lot more articulation than kind of that standard. Next
that
bit
angle on that portrait looks amazing.
I know. Next bit of detail work is there on the 4 command pips, as well as the Insignia Badge. These are permanent. Okay, these are not a removable item. They do incredible tailoring on that. When you kind of remember how tailored the uniforms in Star Trek Next Generation and Forward were, that they were really that very, very tailored design, and we are seeing that here, and the incredible nice tight stitching and kind of that spandex undersuit there on this one here in that kind of lilac color. They're working our way down in the sculpt. Hidden here in the midsection are going to be 2 magnets. Again, as I said, they're hidden. You do not see them, and going over, it's not that I'm really kind of feeling them. These magnets attach with the magnets on the back of the holsters for the phaser rifle and the tricorder. So again, nice and seamless. Working our way down, you get that tapered leg, and all Star Trek pants always had that kind of V cut on the front, which was traditional Star Trek. We had that from the early show through pretty much, I think, all of them, where it had that. And it was kind of a dressier look on there. This is a sculpted boot It is a heeled boot, and yep, we're going to jump to it because it's a costume part, but it's also one of Terry's favorite things.
Oh, it's definitely time for Tread Watch.
Bam!
Yeah.
We're tread watching. This is showing us a couple of different things.
Is there tread?
It is a smooth boot. Okay, most every character in Star Trek had to have smooth boots, but you do see that it's going to have that elastic underneath. It goes under the back heel that's going to keep those pants nice and snug and crisp. We're also seeing on that our first part of articulation that yes, it is a double knee joint. Here on our ankle, got a full.
Yeah, that's a lot of bend.
We've got a lot of bend. Okay. You can feel it up here. The actual joint is actually right about midsection there. So it's kind of that 3/4 boot. That's where they've put the articulation point, but it is allowing us to do a lot of pose on that one there. You know what? Since we're here, let's work our articulation all the way upward. We've done that knee. Let's talk about as far as side to side and all of the articulation of the hip. Because this is a fabric outfit, even though I said it is tailored, it's not incredibly super snug that you're restricted in movement. Janeway was a very refined character. We didn't see her doing any high kicks like so or other, but you do have great posability on that. Our forward as well, we can go to 90. Almost a little above 90 if you take a look.
I think that's cheating it with the waist joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look at that. I mean, okay, she can do bar for those of the in the fitness world, bar exercises. There, we are able to turn the leg as well. As far as back, there we go. Get about 30 degrees on the back angle of the leg.
That's natural. That's natural.
Exactly. Talk about the trunk twisting, as Terry refers to it. We get a good
I've
bend.
never referred to it as that.
No.
It's always been torso.
Torso. But we call it the Terry Trunk Twist here on this show.
Which is a great graphic novel by Brian Michael Bendis.
The Trunk Twist? Terry Trunk Twist? Wow, they've graphic noveled that.
Torso.
That did not take long. They jumped on that. We do have a good amount of bend side to side and twist as well. Up here to the shoulder, as you can see, we can go a little above 90 on that. Again, you do have a tailored suit on that. As far as our forward, we can go straight out. Got no problem there. We have a double joint, little above double, so it goes a little past 90, not too far past 90 there. Okay. So even though it's a double, it's not too far double is what I mean on that one there. And then we also, as you can see, I do have a bicep cut here, allowing there, and standard traditional wrist peg here. We go up to our articulation in the neck and head. Plenty of turn here. What I'm going to do is actually remove the head to show how it does the pivot. Okay, it's a softer rubber on the underside neck, giving it that smooth. And then you've got not only a pivot here, which is where it will attach, but you also have additional movement in the neck as well. So just
I've got to be honest. I kind of like this system for head sculpts, for attaching heads to necks. Sometimes the neck peg, the ball joint, gets a little bit difficult. I was just dealing with a figure the other day that will remain anonymous. That was giving me a bit of a headache, so to speak, from the ball joint shoving into the top of it. And this, I think, is a very nice way to go about doing it that kind of eliminates the issue that you might run into with a neck joint being either too tight or too loose.
Yeah.
So very, very well done, EXO-6.
Slides on there and holds snugly. Okay. Even though you saw me remove it, it's not a zero gravity.
Close one, dude.
Look at that, zero gravity. I'm going to move her off to the side, but I am going to put her on the stand. This is going to be the first accessory we're going to show on this one here. The stand on this is an individual transporter pad. Okay, we see those individual ones with kind of that blue emanating light. Now, here along the side, you see we've got some divots in here and such. This is because EXO-6 has done these pads. They will all connect together Inside your tray, you're also going to have some clips that connect these all together, which is a great little addition. As well as I talked about that little data card, character data card. And that one there also has a little transparent holder that will go to the front if you so choose. But in addition to this, I talked about that we can connect them together, and that is because you can take the overlay, and when you have them all connected, it's a large transporter pad that we saw there as well. So you do have a couple of great options with that stand. It is the traditional undergrab stand. I'm just going to set Janeway off for the moment while we go over the other accessories. But I did want to show that first one that you have there. Okay, I'm going to move you off here. Thank you, Captain.
So far, I'm pretty enthused, man. This is looking pretty good, and I'm sure that they come with a mess of accessories. So,
mess of accessories. I'm going to turn the light on. If it's a little bright, Terry, please let me know. Just ask me to turn it off. So we started with our largest accessory, which was the transporter pad. Let's work our way down, and that will go our second large one, which is going to be our phaser rifle. Okay, you do have the soft fabric strap attached on there, so you can go sling it over the shoulder if so. Great detailing on this. Now, Star Trek weapons were almost always clean, so you're not having a ton of weathering on there, but you are getting a lot of detail and texturing in the handle and such. Fun guy. Yeah, there's the...
I have a question.
Sight. Yes.
Is that similar to the phase rifle that Captain Picard was using in the Star Trek films?
Similar,
design is
yes.
different.
Or something?
Yeah.
Similar.
I think they're both compression. I think
They are called a
rifle.
compression phaser rifle, if I am correct. And I'm sure there are so many boards. I like that you're doing. I like Terry. I got computer right over there, which is fantastic. Next one is going to be our data pad here, and I am going to ask for the computer to enhance as close as it possibly can here to enhance said image. You know, Star Trek jumped in front of everybody, and it was the first time we saw, you know, pads and iPad type things like that, even back then. Great graphic there on there of the ship, and fantastic writing all along. Smooth side there. Now, next up, we're going to have this guy here, the Tricorder. Look at the detail work on that, okay? The stickers are wonderfully applied, and they give that screen gloss look to them. But what's neat about this is magnetic closure. Mm-hmm. So it stays.
Yeah, we've seen that before. I'm glad that
we
they
saw that
maintained
with their
that
figures
in this,
before.
in this new animation.
It's a great design. Then it slides right in so, right in the holder. And as we said, the holder also has a magnet, and I'm going to attach to figure there, right there on the hip. Boom. As I said, cool hidden magnets. I'm going to leave her there because I'm going to do the same again with this one here, the Type 2 phaser. With that curved handle, when we first saw that Next Gen, which of course I'm glad that they continued, was such a new and kind of almost weird design for
I want to say that like with like guns and with like projectile weapons, so to speak, because of the basically it's a controlled explosion that launches a projectile at your target. I want to say the design. I could be wrong about this, but I want to say the design of it was as a result of the kick or the recoil for the weapon. It's designed to counteract that so that your hand absorbs that and it doesn't quite the gun doesn't fly out of your hand. But given the nature of a beam weapon as opposed to a projectile weapon, there's no need to adhere to that antiquated design. You can go with something that looks more like a remote control in this case, which by the way I had that remote control.
Oh yes, yes. So with that, what you're saying is they may have gone away from historical accuracy and went for, isn't this cool?
It's historical design, designed by necessity, so to speak. And let's just go ahead and do that. Why not? It's not going to kick. It's just going to emit a beam. Kind of like a remote control emits a beam. So,
so just like we saw with the Tricorder, we are going to have a specially designed holster with magnet that also will attach. Now, you could swap them and decide what side to put said on, but as the directors of EXO-6, as well as true fans will tell you, there's a very specific way in which you wear these items. So, but of course they're not. The magnet will work on either side. Now, the last one before we get into the hands is something that's very important to Terry Smith and very, very important to a great many people, and particularly Janeway, and that is coffee black. That was what she had the synthesizer, food synthesizer to. As you can see, I'm going to maybe hit a little bit more light in there. There we go.
I just want to say right now, Guy, I'm not saying that I don't like you, but if I absolutely had to, I'd reroute live support from your quarters if it meant me getting some coffee.
Oh, you're gosh darn tootin'. You're gosh darn tootin'. You know, mild labored breathing would probably just, increase my lung capacity. I think you're right. As long as it meant that you got your coffee.
And as you can hold your breath for like 5 to 7 minutes, then you're good.
It's going to work on that. It's a cardio thing. As you can see, you do see the black coffee in there, and it has a hint of that gloss sheen that we get with a nice cup of black coffee. Yep, they've gone all the way in the detail to even give it that divot. If I know these guys well enough, they went and researched exactly what coffee cup and sculpted it to be absolutely accurate on there. Next up.
I kind of want that coffee cup.
Oh yeah.
Full-sized.
I have Picard's teacup that comes with one of their.
That does not surprise me
that has come with their figures. Well, not EXO-6, but with a Picard figure. All right, let's take a look here at our additional hands. We are going to have, and again, Terry, if this is too bright, tell me to turn down. We have on the figures themselves. On the figure out of the box is going to be a relaxed hand. Here we're going to have two fists. Okay, we have both a right and left fist. We are going to also have phaser hands. Okay. That she can hold in either side. Now this one here is a little bit different in that the thumb is a little bit more raised than off to the side. This could be used for the rifle, coffee cup, pad, giving you a number of different options. Now we have this one, which is a little bit of an open palm there, which is again another great option would be for holding the pad or like so. Or if you choose, there we go, boom, holding the pad, or if you want, and she doesn't, perhaps you don't want to have both hands on the handle, you do get that under grip style on that one there. But my favorite, and it was one of the things I thought was so cool when they first showed us images of the figure, Janeway holds her command stance eloquently. And I loved how often she had the hands on the hips. My table's a little higher here, so you're not seeing hand on the hip, but she had a great hand on the hip deal that she did. And so they've gone and sculpted two hands that will...
Oh, we're so going to use those later.
That will go right over...
Definitely.
Right over the hip. One of my favorite accessories. I think between this and a coffee cup, it's very hard for me to choose which accessory is my favorite. But... okay, that takes us through all of our accessories except for the very last one. I will use a little bit of light for this one here, and this is that data card I talked about. It is a translucent data card, okay? So the backlighting, and that's why I wanted to, ooh, isn't that neat? It's like a big reveal. That they are a transparent or translucent done on there. Starfleet Museum Archive, Janeway, and statistics. Written on there, and then, of course, the top view of the ship. So, without further ado, Terry, this is one of the rare opportunities, in fact, maybe the only one that you get to do this with. You're going to tell me what pose to do, but you can even bring your coffee along. Not something Terry gets to do.
Good guy, because I was going to bring my coffee along. Whether or not you approve.
Whether or not I approve. But I do think it's great that this is one, when you go do your pose, you can bring your coffee along.
Well, I'm gonna point out that I had an idea for the show like 2 minutes before it started that we should. It turns out in doing my research that there were like a ton of Janeway coffee memes available on the internet. I mean, all you have to do is just go Google Janeway and coffee, and I mean, there's like 100 of them, like legitimately 100 of them out there, and they are hilarious. I mean, you heard me giggling before the show. That's what I was giggling about. I was reading these coffee memes, and they just had me in stitches. So for everybody's entertainment out there, after the show is done, if you're curious and looking to keep yourself occupied for 5-10 minutes or whatever, do that. You're gonna have a good time. But since we're not doing that because we didn't have time to put it together, we are gonna move forward with doing this week's or this show's installment of the new segment that we're calling Out of the Cellar. And for those of you who just joined us for the first time, this is basically a new segment in which I've been prompted by the guys at Sideshow to start going into my cellar, the area below my house, and bring up a figure that I have in storage every show, apparently, and kind of hit a pose with it, and then let you guys guess what figure it is that I have out there. Now, obviously, there's a mountain of different franchises, a mountain of different scales of posable figures, etc., that are out there. So I will share this with you. This item, last I checked, was in stock at Sideshow, and the other I will tell you is that it is not 1/6 scale. So yeah. So that'll help narrow it down a little bit for those of you who want to go out there and do your research before you do your guesses. And that's it. Start pound it out there in the comment section and or in the chat, and Paul will do his best to nail it down. Yeah, currently in stock and not 1/6. That is your clue. That is your prompt.
Good luck, everyone. I have no idea what it is.
That's why I'm.
Boom! I'm on screen. Hello.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Paul.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. And adjust my volume levels, and I think that we're going to, for this first pose, Guy, we're going to stay very basic. In fact, I know I said I was going to have her coffee cup with me, but I'm not.
Okay.
Yep. Get your hip holding hands out, brother.
All right.
Am I
using both?
You are using both, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah. So Janeway is one of the things that I noticed in doing some research before this show is that Janeway has the whole contrapposto stance down. Whether she's just standing there looking awesome, or if she's holding a gun, she has just nailed the art of posing herself. In fact, I'm kind of nervous that once word gets out to Sideshow how good that she is at posing herself, that my job here might be in jeopardy. I don't know.
Yikes.
If it turns out that she's a 6 scale fan, this might be the last time you guys see me on the show. So, yeah. So that's full warning out there. This might actually happen. So while you're swapping out the hands, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the pose there, Guy.
All right.
And essentially, we're going to start with her feet about shoulder width apart.
Mm-hmm.
Get those hands on the hips.
All right.
And then she goes to the left with the hip, right?
Frequently, yes.
Yeah, left hip out. So we're going to shift those hips to the left. What that's going to do is that's going to tilt her pelvis in such a way that the left side is up higher rather than the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So to counteract that effect, you're going to actually drop her left shoulder down towards that left hip, and have that foot just turn out, that right foot turned out just a little bit to the right. And no need to do a trunk twist on this. I think that she pretty much stays strong with her posture, with her stance, and it kind of creates a barrier with her body to whoever she's confronting with that stern posture of hers.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up a term that is one that you've just told me about that I would like you to talk a little bit more about. You said, say it again and talk to us a little bit about what that means.
Well, it's actually something that I've been trying in our discussions about posing, and even in my discussions about posing. First of all, I'm no student of art at all. I've never studied art, so as far as like various terms and such go and definitions and whatnot, I'm not aware of them. Mm-hmm. When it came to figure posing, everything that I know about figure posing, I learned by reading comic books, looking at comic book art, and kind of mimicking that. So what I learned is the term that I learned is contrapposto, which is apparently probably a pretty much entry level term when it comes to art and figure sculpting and what have you. But if you're looking for an example of what contrapposto means, the first place I would direct you would be the statue of David.
Okay.
Because it's legitimately about as perfect of an example of contrapposto as you can get, from what I understand. But essentially, it means basically breaking the lines created by like a perfect. Think of the Vitruvian Man by Da Vinci, how everything is just symmetrical and straightforward. That breaks those rules. Well, not really rules, but that just kind of breaks that symmetry and just kind of creates a little bit of a balance through asymmetry. It's really quite beautiful, and probably why people like to lose their minds when they see the statue of David for the first time.
I haven't had the
right?
pleasure of being
People
in the presence of
legitimately-
it.
I may be, assuming things open up next year, allegedly I'm going to be going. So we'll see.
You're going to bring a 6-scale figure just to see if you can nail that pose? Let's be honest. You're going to. You're gonna.
I don't know. Are there? Is there a place where I can shop for 6-scale figures in Italy? Maybe I will.
I think they have places.
Yeah. So how are we looking there with the hands, man?
We're doing all right. What I'm trying to do is get them to kind of have a natural hold and just kind of like how far back to put said elbows and such.
And that's the thing, is she actually throws. Like, if you can see me on the screen right now, I don't think I need.
Can
to
we
stand up to do
pull
that.
Terry full screen if I could?
She straight up. She throws those shoulders back and kind of sticks her chest out, and those elbows go back as a result of throwing the shoulders back. So if I can just just kind of something like that. I mean, it's not exaggerated by any stretch, but she's definitely affecting a very solid posture. An air of command as a result of it. So yeah, it's all the elements of her. She's just such a pro. I mean, obviously, just to look at her, the way that she carries herself in any given scene, it's all by design. It's nothing is lackadaisical about it. She's very solid. I'm looking at images of her right now, actually.
Is it something like this? Watch.
Ha ha! That's cheating. That's exactly what I'm going for there. Thank you very much. All right, Paul. Paul. Sam, super producer Sam has nailed the pose before Guy did.
There we go. Well, that's not too shocking.
He just went to the replicator and said,
Yes.
Commander Janeway, contrapposto, hands on hips, 6 scale.
Specify placement of hands.
Specify hand placement.
That's one of the best. That's a nice reference to one of the best scenes in the pilot of Star Trek Voyager. That being when Tom Paris has his first interaction with the replicator, and he's trying to order tomato soup, which they apparently have 17 different varieties on the replicator, and all he wants is just a plain old hot tomato soup. And when he finally gets it, he hates it. So.
Well, that's because you can't beat mom's tomato soup.
And look at you. Yeah, you got this.
Doing a straight on the back leg, trying to get your counter posto.
Yeah. Yeah, back leg will be straight and a little bit of a cock to that hip. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I like it. Captain soon-to-be Admiral Janeway, spoiler alert for those of you who have not seen Star Trek Nemesis.
What I think is cool about, and I do want to use the stand with her just for the moment, what I think is neat about something like this is even if it's not far from a museum or kind of a standard straight pose, that you do get so much with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is very, very cool.
Yeah, you can keep it simple, or you can just go all out and hit your favorite action scenes, whatever.
Exactly.
I'm getting a note here, Guy. Apparently, no one has been able to guess this this episode's Out of the Cellar segment. I'm just going to go ahead and reiterate the 2 clues that I dropped earlier on. One is that it is not a 6-scale figure. It is a different scale. And 2 is that it is in stock at Sideshow. And I'm trying to think. All right, I'll say this too. It is not a human character. Yeah. So hopefully that helps to guide you in the
non-human, probably more.
It is a posable figure that is not 6-scale, not human, and it's currently still for sale on the Sideshow website.
Oh, I think I know. Yeah. I can't win though.
And I will say this: that when I do reveal the pose, that you're actually going to see that it's actually 2 for 1. You're going to see 2 different items. Yeah.
I'm gonna
right.
step aside for a moment. Why don't we
I was
you
just
know,
going to
put her
suggest
on
that
the
you
bridge
do
or
that.
something?
Yeah. All right, cool.
She's definitely fun.
I think it's when you think about the fact that EXO-6 has promised to release just a plethora of Star Trek characters, even if your goal isn't to complete the entire bridge crew of the Voyager, let's just say you have a modest goal of just getting all the captains: Sisko, Picard, Kirk, Janeway, obviously, and Saru. I think we're gonna get some Star Trek Discovery figures as well. So
Yeah.
with Saru, we'll probably also get. I'm trying to remember Michelle Yeoh's Giorgio. We'll probably get Giorgio, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing. But even if you're going to get just the captains, then this figure with that posture is sure to stand out in the crowd.
Oh, she
looks
very
like
very much is. Each captain kind of brought their own unique qualities. We've talked about
much
Kirk
so.
Fu and things like that when he fought, and this, that, and the other. But everybody had kind of their own unique qualities. And what I think is so fun about this particular figure is EXO-6 going, you know what? She stood with the hands on the hips a lot. Let's do a little something like that. That's a neat accessory. It's those specialty accessories for very specific poses or specific replicated scenes that I like in a figure, and I really like that one in this. It was definitely a standout for me that they did that. There she is, as I said, on one of this single pad.
Sure.
Great new
It's
base
kind of
design.
cool the way that they actually are able to because each captain is so unique. That's what makes that whole time-honored tradition of asking the question, "Who's your captain?" That's what makes it such an interesting discussion. And you could probably actually do one of those polls online where you can answer specific questions, and they can tell you who your captain is.
There
So
might
that
be one of
something
those. You're
interesting.
absolutely right. There
Yeah.
might be a whole
Yeah.
name your captain, or
Yeah.
who's your captain.
Guy, we have a winner.
We do.
And before we move on to find out who the winner is, I just want to point out that it's just been approved that we are going to be giving away a copy of the Die Hard Christmas book to this winner. As you can see it there, it just popped up on your screen. This is a book that I still haven't laid eyes on myself, but just judging by the cover, it's going to be great. Paul, you want to step in here and let us know who our winner of the day is? Who guessed my figure?
Yes. So, congratulations to Brandon Hassan over on YouTube for guessing correctly. I only got one, but imagine this is a drum roll. Barry, you want to show him the figure that you've got right next to you?
I do, and I've got to get a very specific pose.
Boom. Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime 6-scale figure from 3-0, and I think it's 3-0. It might be 3A still at this point, but the figure is from the Bumblebee movie, obviously, and you might be asking yourself, why does Terry have him in that weird posture? What is that pose all about? Well, I'll tell you. It's because on my shelf, he's going to be playing Asteroids.
I love it.
Yeah. And look, you can see how I've got that little bit. There's a little bit of contrapposto action going on with this because you can see that I've got his hips moving one way and his shoulders going in the other way to bring it into balance. But Sideshow has at least one of these 6-scale arcade games available online right now, and that game is 1942, the classic World War II flying adventure game that was ubiquitous in 1980s arcades back then. I played a lot of that game. I actually have it here, but I haven't unboxed it yet. So look forward to that probably on my YouTube channel at some time in the future. But yeah, you can just see how cool it looks. Just my goal actually is, and it's been my goal for a long time. I've since seen that somebody else has done this, but my goal is to get all of these arcade games from New Wave Toys, is the name of the company that makes them. And actually build an arcade display with Mandalorians playing video games in an arcade. For now, I've got Transformer doing it. In fact, I've got enough Transformers that I could probably get a similar display going on with just Transformers, so that'll be fun. So yeah, congratulations. Thanks, Super Producer Sam, for getting those photos up there. And yeah, congratulations to Brandon Hassan.
I don't know. Maybe Brandon. Brendan or Brandon, let us know. It's BREANDAN. Brandon, maybe?
Don't don't know. I would love to know how to pronounce that if there's a specific way to do so.
Let us know.
Feel free to let us know. Okay, moving along. I think that we can probably go ahead and do one more pose, Guy. You feel like you got it in you?
Well, this is
never
I'm
mind.
calling
Done.
the "Don't you touch my coffee" pose. This, nothing like get the heck away from my coffee, or the "Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee." This definitely puts that point on. Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee.
Actually, I've got one for that. I've got one for that. This is exactly what she's saying. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Hold on. I'm gonna do this. Hold on. Coffee first, then the Borg.
There we go. Yes, just an absolutely ridiculous pose. I don't think this appeared in any episode. I don't think this appeared in a behind-the-scenes episode of this one here. You'd probably instead want to swap this out for the hand that can hold the data pad. That makes a little bit more sense. But I did want to show the magnetic feature and how those two pop on there. And this is also how I feel Terry is without coffee in the morning.
That is pretty much how I am with it, until I finish my coffee at any rate. Why are you talking to me?
Exactly.
Why are you talking to me?
All right. So let's talk second pose. This is that bonus pose that nobody wanted. So why don't you jump on up, put Terry on the screen for me here, and we'll do it up.
I think, Guy, that what we're going to do is we're going to keep that pose. I'm just going to have you refine it really quick.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Okay. So I can see you've got the stance going, right? Hips out. She's holding the coffee. And she's got her phaser out. Hold on. Aha. All right. So she's got the phaser out kind of casual, but for my display, what I think I would prefer to have is to have have that arm raised a little bit more, and have the whole line of sight thing going on.
Got it.
Just get that up there and actually like she means business. That kind of reminds me of, you've seen the old in the old movies before actors actually had to go through, say, tactical training or weapons training or whatever in order to kind of recreate that real world knowledge of how to use your weapons. You'd see like the criminals would just be like holding their guns at like waist height. They wouldn't be aiming down them. They'd just be like holding them right down here, like they're going to hit anything from in that way. So that's it. Yeah.
Because you brought that up,
pretty much,
this is that that extra articulation point we talked about, that we can have the kind of head back, but we can,
I am a huge fan of that, and I
I kind of like that she gets that slightly more aggressive.
Yes.
Slightly more aggressive. Don't touch the coffee.
That is a major factor in my decision to buy a figure, believe it or not. That double articulation in the neck, where I'm able to do all that crazy, funky neck movement and everything.
See, mine is coffee mugs. If you got the coffee mug in it.
With or without coffee mugs, yeah. But you're able to do so much more when you have all that extra articulation in the neck, and it looks far more real. Too many times I've had like a single neck joint where I have to do a head tilt, and it just looks awkward. Sometimes the character looks a little bit confused. But when you do something like this, then look at that. Yeah, I mean, she's never going to stick her neck out that much, almost never. But if you had to, you could.
That's what I think is kind of neat. Yeah, I went further than you probably would with it, but I just kind of wanted to show that you do have that. That it does have that extra bit of tilt, and by using that style of neck joint gives you a little bit more of that. If you wanted, like I said, if she's looking down at the pad, you'd be able to really articulate the neck in a downward look as well.
Yeah. So I think it's about ready to wrap here, Guy, but I wanted to bring up with you, have you been putting in any thought into your Christmas wish list for the upcoming show?
I have, and I think we need to look at other people's wish lists as well. So Paul is probably here to tell people how to do the wish list. Or to guide them in the right direction. But yes, I add to mine when I'm lucky enough that I get something. Of course, I remove that. Not that I don't appreciate a good duplicate. I definitely do. But I think they're great.
All right. So what Guy so expertly segued us into was
Live, baby.
You
Live,
guys are
baby,
such
live.
nerds. I love it so much. All right, so what he's talking about is we've got a couple of things going on right now. One is a wish list giveaway that you maybe just saw me and Autumn cover, and that is a bit of a different campaign. We're picking one person's wish list. It's got to be an in-stock item. Your wish list must be public. So there is a little bit of crossover there with what we are doing. We are having an unsealed and revealed holiday party. Go to side.show/wishlist blog to learn how to create a wish list, how to make it public, all of the ins and outs of that. Now, what we are doing essentially is Guy and Terry are picking some of their favorite items, not just 6 scales. I'm sure there will be 1 or 2 6 scales on there, but we're going to be giving away some of those items, but also we will be picking people's wish lists. And if you are lucky enough, you've got to be present, and what will happen is we'll say, Terry Smith, come on down. We're picking the Janeway 6 scale off your wish list. But the key factor here that's different from all these other campaigns is you've got to be here to win. So you have to be watching that Unsealed and Revealed show, which is the 14th. Sorry, I know I should know this off the top of my head. It is the 14th. Yes, that is Tuesday, the 14th. It is a Unsealed and Revealed gift blowout. That is our last show of the year, unless anything crazy drops. That is most likely our last show of the year. So we are going out with a bang. And again, put some items on your wish list that are 6 scale, that are in stock. Make them public so that we can, choose your wish list, and maybe you will win something off of that wish list. But again, you have to be present to win. That's how this show, that Unsealed and Revealed wish list show, is going to be different from all of them, is that you've got to be present to win. So please go to side.show/wishlist blog, learn how to make a wish list, learn how to make it public, and yeah, we'll see you December 14th.
Hi.
Guy and Terry, you guys cannot win if that's what you're asking.
Okay, I already have actually.
Well,
nice.
Yeah, that's
I
that's
updated
what
the
I was
list
gonna bring
either
up.
way.
Back in the
I grew up
back in the day, I actually was a recipient of a holiday sideshow giveaway. I was
Really?
I received, believe it or not, and I when they ship it to you with like the name is covered. You're not supposed to open it until Christmas and everything like that. Yeah, massive box, biggest box that I'd ever seen at the time, and it wound up being the Sideshow Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike premium format figure.
Hey, you and I have the same toys.
Dude.
You and I have the
Nice.
same toys.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that takes us to the end of the show, everyone. I appreciate you all for tuning in, taking time out of your busy schedules on this Monday morning. Hope we brightened up your blackest of Mondays considerably, or even a little bit.
Blackest of coffee.
Thanks so much to my co-hosts Guy and Paul for helping keeping me on course, and of course being a lot of fun to do a show with. Production team: super producer Sam, producer Alan, Id Abstentia, I think. And producer Michael, you guys are awesome, holding everything together, holding the fort down back at the studio. And once more, everybody out there, thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.
Boom. Bye, everyone.